All right, action. So, I apologize for my head covering. I know it looks like I have a helmet on. That's because I have my satin cap on with my twist under it. So, yeah, I have a helmet on tonight. But I just wanted to know if you guys were enjoying the mental health, not so much the mental health vlogs, 'cause that's just more so me talking about how I feel and how I've been feeling and stuff. But um, I guess mainly the review I just did on the borderline personality disorder workbook. Um, I don't think a lot of you may have borderline personality disorder, but you could. I have a lot of people watching me, so I wanted to share. I just went over chapter 3 of the workbook, and I actually went over some of the questions and therapy parts of it with Melanie. And I have to say, y'all, although the book itself is centered around borderline personality disorder, I think everybody needs therapy. I mean, that the chapter that I'm on discussing attachment types or attachment styles, which you can get educated on that through YouTube. You can get educated on anything through YouTube, but I have this man just digging in places I never even thought to look. Like he's bringing up and just highlighting stuff and just things about the way you are, why you connect with people the way you do, why you attach, to people the way you do, or it just stuff I just never even thought. I've always felt that way, but I never thought to, think like, oh, why do I do this? Or, why do I feel like this when it comes to people, or why do I do this and that in my relationships? And they bring it up in this book, and it is true therapy. I mean, you really do get to the root of a lot of issues. So it may not be spiritual, quote unquote, but I feel like as a believer, that's what we want to do is get to the true source and root of everything. So I'm actually surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised with this workbook, and just in chapter 3 alone, I wanted to know if y'all were interested in learning more about maybe like the therapy techniques and just different stuff that the workbook has to offer. Because if so, I wouldn't mind, doing some more videos about it. But I'm not going to do the whole workbook because that's too much. I already kind of exhaust myself enough as it is on this channel, and it's not really for everybody else. It's for me and my self healing and deliverance. And like I said, I'm still reading the Broken to Whole book. I was reading it on my mental health channel. I deleted the mental health channel when I was having one of my mood swings. So I do kind of regret it, only because I had already put so many chapters of the book on there and I had some good discussions. So, I mean, y'all should be used to that by now. I've had so many second channels I've deleted. It's insane. Like, I don't know. I don't even have like a real legit reason for deleting that channel. I just did. I was just, I don't know, I was just having one of my mood swings that day, and I was just felt like withdrawing away from everybody, from everything, just deleted the whole thing. Then I don't know. Y'all have no idea how many times I wanted to do that with this channel. That's not good. I'm glad I haven't done that. But there's a lot of stuff in here, y'all. I felt like y'all could personally benefit just as individuals. Because to be honest, I mean, it is possible that you just may not have any issues at all. But I mean, a lot of us have issues. So even if it's not as deep or um, extreme as my issues or somebody else's issues, just simple therapy. I'm surprised people don't go because we broke and we ain't got no money. But but this workbook is literally like therapy in a workbook. Like I was praying to the Lord, to bless me with the money to actually go to a therapist and speak to somebody and get meds and all this stuff. And he answered my prayer through this workbook. It basically is like you're talking to somebody and they're helping you um through a book. So it's kind of for free if you want to look at it that way. And you just, the only money you're spending is to purchase the book itself. So I actually do appreciate, I think his name is Daniel Fox, or just therapists in general that have written books for people that probably can't access, professional help and stuff. Like it's really, really good. And I've never, well, I don't want to say I've never been to a therapist. I have in the past when I was younger, but I would always get just, verbally arrested, and I wasn't able to express myself the way I am today. So I don't think it ever got anywhere from what I do remember, which is very vague. I was demon possessed at that time, so that's probably another reason I wasn't speaking or cooperating with the program. But I mean, what a therapist does anyway, they can't really help you. They can't heal you. They can't fix you. They help you discover and kind of soul search, your own stuff that's going on. They know the parts to dig for and, stuff to bring up and things to look at and consider, but they help you do that. So they're just like any Yanla. A therapist can't fix you. They just help you highlight your issues that you probably aren't capable of, looking in those places. And I can already see in chapter 3, just even talking about the attachment styles. Like I'm still in the beginning of the workbook and I'm like, wow, I never thought to think about this and consider this, and it gives you the answers for why you want this, why you want a husband so badly, or why you're like this in relationships. It's just really, really helpful. Like y'all have no idea. I think a lot of peace and self-love, if you are struggling with self-love, really comes from learning yourself. How can you properly love yourself if you don't even really know who you are? And I feel like therapy and therapists, they're professionals, they're skilled to, do this stuff. So sometimes that's really all we need when it comes to soul searching, is doing a lot of digging, digging soulish wise, digging in your mind. I think we're so used to feeling certain things or experiencing other people in the world a certain way, we don't really think to wonder, hey, why am I like this? Or why do I feel like this when this happens? Or why do I see things this way? And you'll be surprised when you get to the root of that tree. It's just amazing. Like I'm liking it so much, and I just wanted y'all to let me know if y'all did, because I noticed the video only got like 9 likes, so I guess people were still kind of feeling it out, like, okay, let's see what this is, because y'all probably are more used to me doing more ministry videos than like mental health stuff. And oh goodness, I mean, if the Holy Spirit wants to use me to say something, I'll say something, ministry related. And or as far as me being impulsive, a lot of my videos on my channel are just impulse. I just wanted to say something or talk about something. But I mean, I can't say what I will and won't talk about when it comes to the Lord, because if He wants to use me, He'll use me at will. But right now, I am just focused on just healing my soul, getting to know myself better, because it's affecting. Yes, my borderline personality is affecting a lot of areas in my life. Um, Mainly my relationships, but even just my quality of life. Uh, and I could talk about that more as well. Um, anyway, to stay on my point, if y'all did watch the recent vlog, doing a review about the workbook, I want to know how y'all felt about it. Are you interested in me sharing some more topics from the workbook? Maybe y'all can get your own therapy, through me sharing my vlogs and stuff, and y'all may see yourselves in these things. Y'all could be dealing with borderline and not even know it. I had no idea that it was borderline that I was dealing with. I've been accused of being a narcissist, because people just didn't understand me. I always thought it was just the Jezebel spirit. I still think she could be related to it. I think she has some aspects when it comes to BPD, but I can't. The Lord hasn't given me like a full blown revelation about, her role when it comes to this particular disorder. But I'm actually blessed that the Lord gave me the revelation this year that I am basically borderline. I've been dealing with this for years and I had no idea there was a diagnosis for what the heck I deal with, and just who I am, or not who I am, but what I deal with and stuff. And it's just blessed me so much because, like I said, it's a stepping stone to helping you understand yourself. So that's why I said, therapy is amazing. These people are, trained to pick your brain and just, they understand a lot of stuff. They may not be spiritual understanding, but I think the Father has graced them to have some understanding, and it's enough to help you heal. It's enough to help you, just period. And yeah, so if y'all were interested in like maybe getting your own little therapy through my videos and any upcoming, conversations about the workbook, and you may not deal with borderline, or you could deal with it. Hey, you may find out through this video, these, vlogs and stuff, that you may actually deal with borderline. But if there's any specific things I feel like could just help y'all generally, let me know if y'all are interested. And I could just share those things with y'all, because like I said, chapter 3 is just about attachment styles and attachment types. That's not even solely about BPD itself. So I could share that with y'all, and y'all would be surprised at what you discover about yourself. Like, it's really amazing. I like it. I was like, man, I should have got therapy books a long time ago. Like, this is just so dope. Like, and I always liked things being in the format of asking me questions, because I'm sure y'all can tell I like talking a lot. I like vlogging a lot on my channel, so I always like entertain these thoughts of somebody interviewing me one day, because I just love talking. I love talking about myself, and just discovering new things about myself, and I just like it. I just like self discovery, self expression. I like all that stuff. So I like the fact that this workbook is not just informational, but it's asking you questions and helping you just see within your own self, and as it relates to what you're learning about, and you just get to learn new stuff about yourself that you didn't even think to really. It's truly amazing. Like, so let me know if y'all do y'all even like the mental health videos? Are y'all into the millness? Wow, Brandy. Mental illness or mental health, talks or videos and stuff. Do you like more educational mental health videos, or do you mind or not mind my personal vlogs about mental health, which the recent ones have been is good. There's some I've talked about. They're actually really good, but I've done some where I was just sad, which nothing too wrong with those, but I don't know. I mean, just because y'all are used to ministry messages and learning about the word doesn't mean that we can't, learn together about other parts. I mean, you're still a human being even though you're a Christian, so this doesn't hurt anything. Y'all could still have kind of therapy, watch therapy videos, and we can kind of learn about ourselves together and stuff. So, I don't know. I just don't want to do that and then not get any views. Because y'all are like, where's the videos? Where's the ministry video? That's not where I'm at in this season of my life. I have tons of ministry videos from years ago, like older, and they're back up. So I put them back up for y'all, so y'all can watch them, enjoy the old stuff. If you don't want to watch the new stuff about the mental health and stuff, y'all can just watch, your favorite videos that you have in your playlist, or. But I'm enjoying it, and it's very, very personal, very emotional stuff that's coming up as I'm going through this workbook, and I need a lot of healing. I discovered that my personal attachment style and type is preoccupied and fearful, and y'all can look up a video on that. It's the worst. And the book did say, after I did the exercise, that normally people with BPD, their attachment styles are preoccupied or fearful or both. And I kind of had both. So, if y'all are interested in, me continuing to share the workbook with y'all, let me know. I was going to go through it with y'all and share my personal answers to the questions. And I'm kind of, I don't know if I want to, because I don't necessarily have a fear, and this is something that they actually ask in the workbook when it comes to um, developing close relationships or opening yourself up to people. Do you have a fear of that? And I answered, no, I don't, because I don't. I mean, y'all have pretty much seen for years, actually a very open person, and I actually learned from the workbook that comes from lacking um, emotional support, lacking having people to talk to, lacking that nurture. So people like that, or they tend to just be vulnerable and just open with everybody, more. They just overshare. So I learned something new about myself. That's why I do that. I didn't know. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I like to do it, but to learn that it's something deeper for why you are so open, because that's not normal. A lot of people are not that open about personal stuff and family business, and, you know, so I'm just learning so much about myself through this workbook. So the questions are very personal. It's some stuff I don't want to share on here simply because I have enemies watching this channel and I'm just not comfortable with, you know, some of the questions. I wouldn't mind sharing it with y'all. I don't mind being a sacrifice in any way. I have been for years. It's just, I just feel like you don't give certain people ammunition to use against you when it comes to um, insecurities and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind sharing it with y'all, but I probably won't. I don't know. I don't feel safe. I'm personally not comfortable. And that's something I'm learning through this workbook as well, is that, just because you want to connect with people or you really want people to understand you and love you as a person, you still have to have boundaries. You don't have to show people that part of yourself if they don't deserve that. They have not earned that. That's something I have not learned. I just share and share and share because I'm like, oh, I want to help people. I want people to be blessed, and hopefully, they'll see my transparency and they'll want to be transparent too. I always have the thought that maybe it'll help other people open up, you know. Maybe a lot of people are just really isolated. They don't know how to be vulnerable. So I feel like maybe me doing it can help other Christians. So that does make you a sacrifice though, because then everybody can kind of just see your weak spots. And like I said, you have enemies watching you. They can just use that stuff against you. Um, yeah. So I probably won't share my personal answers to stuff. It depends. Like I said, I have to put boundaries on myself. So if I had to put a boundary, I would say no because I'm not comfortable. I don't feel safe. I don't feel secure on here. Um, it's just very interesting. I think if I were to share some answers with y'all would probably get a chance to understand me better as it pertains to how I view this channel and the people who follow it and why I do the things I do as far as taking it down and just so that I think it's awesome to be honest, but it depends, I don't know. But that's just chapter 3 alone and it's amazing. I'm just like, wow. This is I will say this though. I turned out to have the preoccupied and fearful attachment style, more so the preoccupied than the fearful. But they say that those personality types, it's always due to you having not received that love, care, affection, and nurture and attention from your caregivers. And when I look back at my childhood, I'm like, I honestly, genuinely, despite my parents being narcissists today, I don't have a history where my parents were negligent of me at all. I would say I had a great childhood. I had a good childhood. It's just very interesting that for me to be in the condition that I'm in today and just how emotionally fragile, I am as a person, I have no idea where that came from. I was talking to Melanie about that. I was like, yeah, it makes sense that if you're seeking that in other places and in other people and other men, which I have done, um, that the foundation where you're supposed to get it from would be your parents and your family system. That's true. So I can't deny that. But when I look at my mom, I'm like, my mom was a great mom. She was never negligent of me as a child. She started doing that around when I was 15, and ever since then, she's just been screwed up. But no, like as a child, as far as my actual development, my mom was awesome. My mom was loving, she was caring, she was warm. When I wanted to join the dance team, I talk about the dance team a lot because those were pivotal points in my life as a child that were very special to me. So I just remember her not having enough money. I'm getting emotional as I'm talking about this, but I remember I was 11 years old when we were living in the Woodlands in apartments, and she didn't have enough money for me to pay because we didn't have a lot of money like that for me to do stuff like cheerleading and all this other stuff, but I really wanted to do dance, and she came up with the money for like my tights and my leggings and just for me to just really travel and be a part of something like that. And So she was very sacrificial. She was like a great mom. I mean, as far as my experience, the only mom I knew. So, and she did the same thing for my little sister. My little sister's on the cheerleading team. So I said, when I look at my mom, as far as like, why I'm so lacking in love and affection and nurture and care, and I look at my parents, I'm like, I didn't experience any negligence with, I don't know why I'm like this. I really don't. She was not a negligent mother at all. She was awesome. I have a lot of good memories about my mom when I was a child. Like I said, when I turned 15 and she just started, she just changed for the worst, and the enemy just took over, and she's not the same person. She's literally dead. Somebody else is in that body, but years ago, no, she was warm. She just used to cook the greatest meals. I loved my mom, you know, when I had one. She was I didn't have any bad experiences. She was not negligent. She was actually very loving. She was loving to all of us. Great Christmases, lots of gifts. When Sierra was younger, she would take us to the store and just take us shopping, got us a lot of clothes. So, like, no, it didn't come from her. I didn't have any bad childhood, even with my dad, even though the Lord revealed to me that I was sexually abused, or confirmed that I was sexually abused and violated by my dad. To be honest, if I had to give an honest report for my parents, for my father when I was a child, from what I can remember, not memories that have been suppressed due to abuse or trauma, but no, I think he was even a decent dad. I mean, he's always been strict and like hot headed, but no, I have good memories with my dad. Like, I specifically remember like playing horsey with him. Not to get too childish, but no, I remember like playing horsey, like riding on his back and stuff, like in the living room, and him just being funny and a silly guy. Us watching Blade in the living room as a family, and when the vampire would like slash, somebody in the movie, he had ketchup. We didn't know that he got ketchup in his hand, and he just he reacted what they did on the scene in the movie, and we thought he was actually. So I'm like, no, I didn't have any traumatic family experience. I really didn't. Let me see. No, my dad was even responsible for us having great Like, we had good family times, like great Christmases. My dad always, he did some stuff on the side, so, he would hustle when he had no business hustling and doing things the wrong way. But no, like, he always made sure that we had a good childhood, me and Sierra. And Sierra's 6 years younger than me, so she was like a kid when he went to prison. He went to prison when I was like 8 or 9. So Sierra was like three, 4. So she doesn't have too many memories with him. Um, but no, my dad was never negligent of me. They're that way now. I don't have any explanation for that. I don't know. That's why I say I think when it comes to spiritual, the process of somebody becoming reprobate, I think people just spiritually deteriorate over time. But as for the kind of people they were years ago, I guess when you still have that chance to choose, who you want to serve. No, they were, I mean, normal people, at least to me. As a child, they're the only parents I knew. So no, my dad he had his ways and he did stuff, but like conniving, sneaky stuff. He stole the stuff he wasn't supposed to do, but he gave us a pretty decent childhood. I don't have any bad, memories or experiences with my dad. And the ones that were bad, I was too young to remember, like him being abusive to my mom and chasing her down the street. These are vague memories I have, but it was nothing that affected my childhood. I don't have that traumatic testimony of, yeah, I was a kid and I remember dad always beating on mom. I don't have that. Like, I don't. If something like that happened around me, I was too young to understand it. I didn't care. I mean, you're a kid. It's like, I don't, you know. So, no, my dad and my mom was never negligent of me. I never experienced any neglect, no abandonment. It makes no sense, to be honest. Me working through this workbook, I can, attest to how I feel and that I'm dealing with those issues now. I've always dealt with those issues for over a decade. Insecurity, inferiority, not loving myself, not feeling like I have anyone to love me, like all that stuff. And like, if that's supposed to be the root, that doesn't make any sense. Because I actually did get love from my parents, especially my mom. So that's a mystery. I'm gonna have to ask the Lord to reveal where that even came from. The only conclusion I can kind of, or theory, I can kind of propose for why that came about is maybe, maybe that can develop as a teen. I don't know. Um, because she did start to change towards 15 when I was 15 years old. And she got with her second husband. And I guess too, because my mom also deals with self rejection and the same issues I deal with. I'm trying to break that generational curse. Dating and being with men for love and affection. Because my grandpa left her and my aunt when they were young girls too. Um, so I've witnessed her choose her, significant others over me when I was a teen, and I'll never forget, she wanted to impress her second husband in the living room, and she called me a bitch. Yeah. Just talked to me like I was some random chick on the street. I mean, I could tell she did it to impress him. It was like he was like this hood guy, and she wanted to like, I guess show him that she could be hard too, and she called her own daughter a bitch. You know, I don't even remember why she did it at the time. I think I was actually, yeah, I've always been a confrontational person. I've always been about making people accountable for their errors, and I noticed that she was changing, and I think I brought it up to her, but I did it in a very probably disrespectful way from what I can remember. And I guess my mom does not like taking accountability for anything, which is why she has developed narcissism to this day. But she didn't like that. So I guess her way of maybe she felt embarrassed that I actually called her out on her crap in front of her husband. So she decided to put on a show and, put on a show for him to appeal to him and, call me a bitch and out of my name. And I was going through a lot of stuff at that time as far as my identity and my self esteem. So that did not help that you had an abusive mom just treating you like you weren't even. She just started changing for the worse around that time. And I was so dissociated, doing my own thing, experimenting with pills. I just stayed high all the time in my room. Um, High on pills, that was. I had access to a lot of pills because he was a drug dealer. And I just used to just dig in her purse and just find whatever I liked, and I would just take it because I was sheltered growing up. I didn't really have any friends. I didn't go out and have fun. My way of escaping and having fun was just getting high. And they used to buy liquor. I would drink the whole. I just stayed in my room and just stayed on something. I became infatuated with drugs. Like, I loved pills so much. I really, really did. I was never addicted. But so I was already just in a stage where 15, I was fresh out of my little gothic element with all my friends that she moved me from, which she did that to help me because she did love me. But I was just kind of just left in shambles, like trying to find myself, trying to figure out what my identity was. And I let Bad Girls Club teach me. I think that's where Jezebel really got a foothold, to be quite honest with you. I remember the day I started watching Bad Girls Club, and I was like, oh, I want to be like them, and I started to kind of pattern myself after this devious, sexual, promiscuous kind of look. I was never actually that way. I was looking for an identity, and, you know, the drugs and stuff wasn't me trying to be somebody I wasn't. That literally was something that was a coping thing for me because my life just didn't make sense at that time. So you had a daughter that was already kind of going through, I don't even know what you would call that. Maybe she thought that by moving me would help me, but it did help me. I'm not gonna lie, I got saved. Maybe if I had stayed at Vincent with my friends who were into the dark side of things, I probably would have never got saved. But I don't want to say that. I think the Lord always had like he would have had a way to getting through to me, but it probably would have been a huge distraction. So I probably would have just gotten deeper into things, maybe gotten deeper into witchcraft and probably would have lost me altogether. She was already losing me. I was demon possessed at that time. I have pictures. I don't know where the pictures are. If I showed y'all, it would probably scare the crap out of you. Not because of how I looked, because you can literally see the spirit in me. I looked soulless. That spirit completely took over me. Um, so it just wasn't a good combination to be in a position where you should have been tending to your daughter. Maybe she didn't know how to help me, and I feel bad for her because I genuinely think she didn't know how to help me. Because there was one time where I remember she sent me to my aunt's house to go live with my aunt and her now husband, um, and my cousin. And I remember that she did send me to live with them because she didn't know what to do with me out of a sincere place of love. So my aunt, I don't know what my aunt was supposed to do. I'm not gonna lie to you, that part didn't make sense to me because me and my cousin Brittany were literally in the same exact little dark gothic phase. Brittany was into punk rock stuff like I was, so I was like, I don't really know what y'all sending me to her house was supposed to do. I will say that from my experience in my life, they were more positive figures. I liked being at their house. I liked their family, um, just vibe and everything. My uncle, he is an amazing cook. He cooks really good food, so I enjoyed it. But I do remember that she sent me. They were just down the street, so it wasn't like she just sent me off somewhere. They literally were like walking distance. But I lived with them for like quite some time. So I don't know if she just didn't know how to help me. Maybe she just gave up. But if I had to pick an age where I feel like I developed neglect, the things I struggle with today, being 27, I'm like, maybe it started there. Maybe it didn't have to be a young, tender age. Maybe it could just be a time in your life where you were a mess. Your life didn't make sense. You didn't have an identity. That would have been the time for her to become more of a mother, become more involved or try to get through to your kid. And I was demon possessed, so to be honest, she did try. She tried to talk to me. And I just remember just being cold and just, I didn't think it was that serious. I didn't think anything was wrong with me. That's why you should be a Christian parent. She was not. She didn't know how to help me. It's true. So she did try, but I mean, yeah, I think I just probably needed. I think they sent me to my aunt because I needed Christian. Yeah, I think it was something like that. Because she sent me to my cousin Janice when I was young too. Janice is actually in ministry and stuff. So my mom was just sending me to a lot of different relatives to like help me because she just genuinely didn't know how, thinking that they would, and none of them could help me. They tried. They were genuine, relatives and stuff. I just remember that time just kind of being like, it's just so smoky. I mean, I was possessed, so I'm like, I don't remember. I was not experiencing things the way they experienced it. They can see something's wrong and that you need deliverance, and you've kind of entered into this dark realm of things. But for you, you think you're like badass and they're tripping and nothing's wrong with me, but I'm enjoying this. Like, I mean, I didn't know I was demon possessed and didn't even know that something was wrong with me. And that's a scary thing. Like that, I mean, that should open your eyes when it comes to people who are dealing with entities and stuff like that. They may not even know or be aware of how bound they are. I was experiencing sleep paralysis and I didn't know what that was, being in between being asleep and being awake and having a presence press upon me. I wasn't even scared because I didn't know what it was. So I got possessed and didn't even know, like, what the heck was happening to me. So, but I remember, just being sent to different relatives, and I think she just sent me to Christian relatives who tried to help me, and they just, I can't even tell you what that time was like because I just wasn't there. Something else was there, just using me. So, but I don't. I would have to ask the Lord to, because He knows, where this neglect feeling is coming from. This insecurity, this wanting and seeking love in everybody, and just it's just overwhelming. Just It feels like I just have a lost girl inside of me that or got lost a long time ago and she's just trapped in here just crying and just that's what I deal with every day. But I'd have to find out the age that she got fragmented off, or I don't know where it's coming from because it's definitely not from my childhood. It's not that I had a good childhood. I actually reminisce on my childhood often because those were the years when I was really genuinely happy, to be honest. So it wasn't anything in my childhood. It had to start when I got into all that stuff. And like I said, maybe, like I said, you probably don't have to be a child. You could just be an adolescent and just in that stage in your life where, you don't stop being a parent just because your daughter's not a child anymore. She still is a child. She's just a young woman, but she was not there like that, partially because she didn't know how to help me. She really didn't. Like, I feel bad for her. Like, I wish I could go back in time, like around that time, to my mom and be like, I'm so sorry. I was just a troubled teen. I really, really was. I was cutting and just drinking. And I remember, like, she didn't even used to beat me or whoop me because, like, I was just so troubled. I actually called CPS on her and, like, because I was just demon possessed. So I think she legally couldn't, like, physically touch me. I don't know if she just stopped hitting me or trying to discipline me physically because of that, because she could get in trouble, or I don't know. But I remember that when I was 15, we were living in that house. I was so in love with pills that I had so many magazines of just, models taking pills or pictures of pills and just, amphetamines and stuff. And I posted them all over my walls in my bedroom. And that was just my life. That's all I cared about was just getting high and just taking pills. I would go to high school and nobody knew. I would just sleep in class all the time. They probably just thought, like, I don't know what people in high school thought about me. I'd have to ask them. When I ask some people, they just say they thought I was really pretty and just quiet or just odd and awkward. I was very withdrawn, but no, like I forgot where I used to get these pills from. I did have friends that did them too, but I mainly got them from my mom because she was either prescribed them or she got them from somebody because I don't know. I just used to dig in her purse and just take stuff like Xanax, 4 bars. I fell in love with that. Somas, hydrocodone. I would just take this stuff and go to school and sleep. Sadly, like yeah. So yeah, I remember like one day she just it was up there for a while, but I think she realized that even though I took her out of this gothic environment, away from these gothic friends, she's still troubled. So I remember one day she just went in my room and just snatched and just tore all the pictures off the walls. Like, I'm not gonna let this take my daughter again. Like, now it's pills. Now it's something new. Like, and when I saw it, I knew what she was doing. I was like, well, I wasn't even angry about it. I came home and it was gone. I was like, all right, well, I guess she does care. I didn't think too much about it when she did it. I kind of was in agreement that she did the right thing, but I mean, it didn't stop me or anything. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting emotional. Sometimes I wonder, and the Lord hasn't shown me this when I did ask him, like the recent vlog I did for y'all, when I asked him to show me what is responsible for my mom's reprobation, like how did she just change like that? Sometimes I used to wonder if maybe the spirits that I was dealing with somehow transferred to her, just took over her. Maybe they used me to, I don't know, just send her to a place where she just kind of lost herself. I don't know. Maybe not. The Lord didn't show me that anytime He's ever. Is that a booger in my nose? I can't tell. Is that what that is? If so, that's really gross. Oh my god, it is. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna have to wipe my nose. That's really gross. Is it still there? No, I think it's gone. But no, the Lord never showed me anything like that. Any dream He's ever given me exposing her or showing me what was responsible for her reprobation. It's just always been her and her choices. He never showed me that it had anything to do with me. But I felt like that, like, 'cause I remember her being normal, and I remember her just being in this space where she didn't know what the heck was going on with me, and she just tried, like, she did what she knew how to do. She took me out of the environment, which that did help. I got saved when I was 15. The Lord was able to get through to me, so I think He used my mom to pull me out before it got too dark. And then when, like, it's like He wasted no time too. It was very strange. Like, as soon as we moved and everything, not as soon, but like, yeah, He was able to get through to me. I got saved and I started reading the Bible, and um but I was still dealing with stuff, so I do have a fear, or sometimes wonder if maybe the spirits I was dealing with contributed to her own spiritual deterioration. But He's never confirmed or validated anything like that. He's just always shown that it's her. She's wicked, it's not anything that you did. um and truthfully, if I had to give a judgment for her as a mother, I would say if you knew that your daughter was dealing with something dark like that, that's the time for you to give your life to the Lord, and you get serious and you get surrendered so that you can fight for her, not send her to a whole bunch of relatives that you feel is more spiritual than you. Why couldn't you do it? Like, that's just where my mind goes with that. Like, if my child, which I don't speak this on my children, even if it were to happen, those spirits will get their behinds toe up because I already been through it. I'm dealing with it now. You ain't about to have my kids. So I know what to do. I'm going to sacrifice myself and put myself on the altar for my child's deliverance. So I'm just kind of like, why couldn't she do that? I don't know. But my dad was in prison at that time, so she was a single parent. So, and the second guy she married, he was never any stepdad to me. I never even saw him that way. I never had any attachment to him. I just always saw him as somebody she was with that she decided to marry. Even when they married, it even felt like a real marriage. It was just like, it just wasn't fitting. I just never took him serious. I never hated him. I didn't like him, you know. I didn't dislike him. I just didn't like him. It was just neutral. It was like, okay. But I feel like because of what she deals with, because she deals with self rejection as well, and she's always trying to find my grandpa, and then I don't know what made her choose him, to be quite honest. My mom has always had a bad choice of men. She had my dad, who is a narcissist. He is an abuser. He's a pedophile. Um, you know, yeah. And then she was dating this guy who he was in prison or he was in jail for some years. But I remember like when he came out, he came to our house and she started dating him again. He physically abused her, gave her a black eye. I remember like hating that guy over that. So she's never dated any decent. She has, but it's just always been. Now when I look at her life and I'm more mature now, I'm actually spiritually mature. I understand what she was doing. She always had to be with somebody. She did have a handful that were like decent dudes, but she had those bad apples too. And the second one that she married, he was a bad apple. So, no, I never had a father figure. My dad went to prison when I was about 8 or 9. Um, and he got out when I was 17, about to graduate in high school. So my life was just, I don't know. You can be looking for a dad subconsciously and not know it. I don't remember wanting a father. I just remember, I don't know. I just cared about, I was lost. I mean, I think a father figure would have helped. My mind wasn't on like, oh, I want a dad. It wasn't that. There's even times where my dad's brothers would come and get me and my sister so we can go visit my dad in prison, and I had no attachment or emotion towards it. So it wasn't like a desire for him. It wasn't anything like that. I was just in my own little world of just nobody could help me. Nobody knew what was going on with me. I was shut down from everybody. I would not open up to anyone. I would just cut or I would journal. What I would journal would be just murderous, hateful stuff, wanting to kill my principal, just stuff like that. And I was just, I don't know. I think I was lost and didn't even know I was lost. And the only thing that made me feel good was the pills and the alcohol that I was taking. That's all I cared about. And yeah, getting attention from guys eventually. So that's when the insecurity and the wanting attention and, validation and love and stuff started coming. I started doing that with dudes I didn't even know. And it was just, I don't know. So I think she did kind of just give up on me. I feel like she did. She didn't know how to help me. So, yeah, like I felt like at 15, I've been just kind of left on my own since then. And I have been, I guess, reparenting myself. Not really. I feel like the father has. I feel like he just kind of swooped me up at 15 and he's just been here ever since. And my relationship with him, even till today, has just been a wall, you know. So there's still a lot of healing and a lot of deliverance that needs to take place. But yeah, I lost my parents a long time ago. Um, and even my dad, to be honest, my dad was a good provider. I wouldn't say that he was a good parent. And I say that because my dad's way of disciplining, and I understand now because this is how they were raised and disciplined. I talked to my grandpa and he told me, I understand. Like, all my uncles are like that. Even my aunt is like that, his sister, so I get it. But I remember, like, when I was, like, in bondage and gothic and stuff, I think I went with my Uncle Nat to go visit my dad in prison, and I felt no attachment to him. So I remember him just looking at me, and he was like behind the glass window and he had a little phone, because that's how we were like visiting, speaking. And he just looked angry. And his anger was because like he didn't like what was going on with me. And I felt that he was angry because he felt like he couldn't. I did feel like he was angry because he knew he couldn't do anything to help me because he was locked up. And it's like I'm on the other side. You have to think like he can visibly see what I look like. I was in all black. I dyed my hair black, dark black makeup, black lipstick. I even had like a demonic type of necklace on that day. I remember because my uncle didn't like it, and I remember he took it away from me that day, and I got pissed off about it. So that was the day he took my jewelry. But yeah, so my dad didn't even recognize this person. So I remember him just being angry and just looking so frustrated, like angry at himself that he was even in there. He couldn't really be out to kind of, I don't know, play a part in getting me out of that phase. But to be honest, I've seen his parenting style. I don't think that if he was able to help me that it would have been in a good way because he's very abusive. His way of disciplining you is beating you, yelling at you, thinking he's gonna drive the demon out that way. That's what he does. So I don't even think he would have really been able to. Probably would have made it worse. So that's not what I needed at that time anyway. I needed a lot of love, nurture. I just could not be reached. I was so demonically possessed. Like that spirit just had me so like I wouldn't even talk to people. Like it literally had me bound. It would have took somebody truly anointed to discern what the heck was going on and know when to, you know, how to deal with somebody in a situation like that because it wasn't just like, oh, I'm possessed and I'm acting out. Like, no, I was mute. I was withdrawn. I would not talk to anybody. I wouldn't open up. It's like I was just gone. So, so yeah, like that's why I say I lost my parents. Well, I lost my dad at 8. So, because when he got out, he didn't really care to develop any relationship with my sister, me and my sister, and that affected her very negatively. I think that's why she is the way she is today, to be honest. But yeah, my mom just kind of, she just gave up. And I think a part of her giving up wasn't even just not knowing how to help me, but just choosing that guy over me, too. I think that was a part of it. So, and like I said, I was lost. I wasn't looking for a parent. I don't know what I was looking for. I was just kind of, I don't know. So, and I've just been lost ever since. I still feel the same way I felt when I was 15. Nothing different. Maybe a slight few changes because of stuff the Lord has taught me in transformation that's taken place. But so, yeah, I don't have any parents. I would love to have parents. I've actually been praying and seeking the Lord to bless me with new spiritual parents. Um, the same way He gives you a word of marriage, I would like, God ordained parents. I literally prayed for that because I don't have parents. Um, my mother and father are narcissists, Jezebel and Ahab. They're completely reprobate and turned over to those spirits, and they're my enemies. They hate me. They're very abusive to me. I've never gotten any love in the past as a child, yes, but no love from any of my family. Nobody. Y'all saw for yourself the stuff I was dealing with at home. My sister was abusive to me. I just had a household full of enemies. My mom is jealous of me, narcissistic, abusive, verbally abusive. My dad, same. He's more aggressive. My grandmother, gaslighting. They nobody really cared about me like that. So I don't have a family. I don't have like a loving, caring support system. I mean, you can see that from where I am now. I'm staying with a whole sister in Christ. Like, somebody who has nothing to do with my family. I mean, if that was the case, I would be with family right now. So, and his side of the family has always just been very cold and rejecting towards me. Very ugly, nasty people. Definitely, that's a dead end. So, and I wouldn't trust any of them with any vulnerabilities anyway because of how they are. So, no, I don't have any support system. I don't have any family. Um, so I'm just kind of left to just kind of do this thing on my own, like reparent myself on my own, figure myself out. I guess the demonic bondage that's accumulated over those years, I'm dealing with it now and finally having the Lord pour out dreams and showing the curses, showing the spirits, and I just look at that stuff like it's weird. It's like the anointed part of me, yeah, I can do it easily, cut through that stuff, get it done. But the soulish part of me that's actually bound to this stuff, I just, I'm like, why does he have me doing this by myself? I've been by myself. I don't think that's the route to go. It makes me wonder, like, is this even his strategy? Like, am I meant to do this in this season? Should I just rest? Right? I don't know. But, yeah. It's kind of weird to say because you're a Christian, but yeah, I've been lost since 12. I say 15 because that's when I got saved and that's when she pulled me out. But I mean, no, I got lost when I got into that stuff. I can't pinpoint what specifically got me demon possessed. It had to be a strong spirit because, yeah, I was hanging out with people who told me they could see demons and stuff, but I was also playing with incantations and love spells, listening to a lot of satanic heavy metal music. I was doing rituals. I played with it. It was nothing severe, but I would wear satanic paraphernalia, pentagram earrings, and because I just liked the subculture. I didn't know any better. But hey, maybe that was enough to open up, whatever gates. Maybe I got possessed the night I experienced that sleep paralysis with that spirit just pressing in. I don't know. I can't, I didn't even have any concept of when it happened. I don't think you feel when a spirit comes into you. You just kind of change. So it's just always been here. It's still here. So, yeah, I think the Father has a heavy heart for me. I do think he loves me. I can't fully connect with that love, but I mean, he's brought me this far. I mean, he's used me to have a powerful ministry on the internet. So, I mean, I don't know. I think I don't see what y'all see. I just see and I experience, the hell that this mess that I am. I mean, I don't even give any glory to myself for that stuff. I think what y'all see is just the Holy Spirit at work, to be honest, just using somebody who's a daughter of his, and that's kind of where it ends. Like, but I'm still just a mess. Kind of still feel like the same person I was years ago. And I even still feel an attachment to a lot of the stuff I used to do. I just stopped doing it physically out of obedience. So I don't know if that even counts. Like, well, yeah, it does count. It counts for something. But it's a lot of work that needs to be done. It's a lot of bondage. And I think it's very sweet, nice of him that he's waited until he's really matured me and groomed me to a place of spiritual maturity where I can understand these spiritual things, and he's shown me in the dreams, and it's a lot of stuff. But I just, when I think about trying to deal with that myself, I get extremely overwhelmed, and I just don't even like, it's just a lot for one person. So, but going back to the spiritual parents, I've prayed about that, and I know that he's going to bless me with spiritual parents. Um, I just don't believe the Lord gives you faith for something that's not his will. Faith comes from him, so he's not going to give you faith and hope and expectancy of something that he hasn't put in your heart to want. So I'm expecting it. I can't wait to meet them because I feel like, number one, I need reparenting, to be honest with you. Um, yes, I'm an adult, but a huge chunk of that part of my life just got cut off and the parenting stopped, you know. So I still need to be reparented. I still deserve love. I still deserve nurture and care and support. At some point I'm going to have my own kids, and I want to be praised for how much of a good mother I'm going to be. That's something I'm not going to get from my blood family. They're disgusting people, and that's just the truth. They're very abusive, not unloving, disgusting people. Knowing that my dad sexually abused me and having the Lord reveal that to me, I still don't hate him. I don't hate my dad. I never hated him. I didn't even hate him when I found out what he went to prison for doing it to a relative of mine. So, but there's been numerous accounts where I've tried to establish a relationship with him. I would go visit his house, and this is when I just didn't have anything to do other than making videos for y'all. We had like a little Saturn car. My grandma let me have that little gold car that she had for years since I was like 4, and I would drive all the way to Orange just to go to his house because I didn't really know anybody else, and I would try to spend time with him and talk to him, and he just didn't care. He would just watch TV or he would leave and go somewhere else while I was at his house. I would try to have many deep, personal, intimate, conversations with him and try to just, learn him and just get to know who he is as a person. Sorry, I have to wait until the wave comes over. I can't talk and cry at the same time because my voice gets all trembly, so I had to stop. But no, like just being willing to forgive him. I always had forgiveness in my heart for him because I just figured, well, if he did that stuff, maybe he just needs somebody to show him compassion. And so I just always had the right heart towards him. Like we would read the Bible together, and I would just try to. He was always so intellectual about the word. A lot of his family is like that, but they're not real Christians at all. It's very strange. It's a weird stronghold, but and there was just I'm getting emotional because it is personal, topics to me, but there was only one day where I feel like my dad really just had a moment with me, and I think it was around Christmas time at his house like a few years ago. And my dad like writes the most beautiful poetry. Like you'd be surprised if that even came out of him. Like I would read. He just used to have boxes of poetry that he wrote. I was like, I see where I got my writing from, but and he wrote this stuff in prison. So he had this one poem. I think I still have it called Bitter Abode. It's about unforgiveness. If I ever find it, I'm gonna read it with y'all. But there was one time I feel like I was just able to access him as a man, and he pulled out his stuff to me. We went over like his poems together, and yeah, I guess you could tell like he was really proud about his writings, and I was happy to kind of have that moment with him. But he was with this woman at the time. The woman is demon possessed. She's my sister's mom. That spirit didn't like, I guess, that my dad was connecting with himself or, wasn't wallowing in this pit of perversion or whatever, darkness these spirits keep him in. And she just came while we were having our moment. Uh, oh, you think that you something, right and this and that. You ain't nothing but a raper. You ain't nothing but a pedophile, you pervert. I mean, just tearing him down and just like, she was just being a hindrance and it was a spirit because it was just she was there the whole time. She didn't do it until like somebody just kind of jump started her to just come in like the living room and just start like tearing him down and just like this spirit just wanted to beat him down with like all this condemnation and like yeah he did those things but I never saw him that way. I was happy that I even got him to a place where he was talking to me, like a daughter, and I was happy to see him happy about his poetry and we're talking about writing and I just used to always express to him how I want to write or produce films and stuff one day. So it's something he always wanted to do. And I think a part of it was just her too, because she has her own, sad history and background of things that happened to her traumatically. And maybe it was jealousy. She didn't like that we were having a father and daughter bonding moment. So it was just but that was like the only day I can really recall since he's gotten out. And he got out in 2011 where we just really bonded. But other than that, no, he just genuinely doesn't care. I don't even think it's a hatred he has for me. He's just not a father. He's like that with all of his kids. He's like that with my little sister. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of hard to believe. It makes you wonder or question, did he ever love you? Because I just think in my mind, like, I mean, you did raise us up to a certain age. Like, we were a family. I just don't see how somebody can come out of prison and just kind of have this detachment, like I don't have any desire, no care to, regroup, reconnect with my daughters or maybe do things differently. You got a second chance. I'm like, honey, the Lord is very merciful. I don't know what to say about Yahuwah. It's just some stuff I'm like, if you're wondering if he forgives offenders, honey, my dad has had a reckless lifestyle for years, and for the Lord to he went for 8 or 9 years for the Lord to release him and he has his freedom. God has to be merciful, right? So don't y'all ever feel condemned about anything. But no, he just doesn't care. I think the last time I was at my dad's house, it was this year, and I went with him. I went with my mom because she needed to do laundry. Um, if it wasn't this year, it was last year. I can't remember, but I just know she needs to do laundry, and they hang out and stuff, which I think is weird. Even though I honor and I believe in covenant spouses and not divorce and remarriage, I don't know. Their relationship is just strange. I just have an issue with the fact that this man went to prison for violating your daughter. He was physically abusive to you. He was responsible for you losing not one but two of your children that you never gave birth to. It's just like, why are you still kikiing? And she's a very messed up individual. I'm sorry. But like I said, it just goes back to her own self rejection, daddy issues. So she has a weird soul tie with my dad that I can't explain. And he's older than her too. So, but we went like to his house that day, and I was like, well, I don't have anything else to do. I guess I'll go with my mom to my dad's house. And um, he does not like me or care for me at all. I remember that day he was just very like, it was so weird, y'all. It was like they're my enemies. Lord shows you this stuff in dreams, and when you actually experience it, like it was like they weren't even my parents. It was the strangest thing. Like they were just together as like buddies against me, and I was just there just to be there. I didn't even do anything wrong. And he would just look at me and just like he just couldn't stand me, because she would go back and tell him all this negative stuff I was doing, which more than likely was trying to rebuke her with a word, or we would just always be having issues in the house because she's just wicked and disgusting. So I guess they see that as disrespect. But he just didn't even look at me like a daughter. It was just like you just a bitch off the street. That's honestly that's how I feel. Um I remember that day, I think I just had an altar come to the surface. I say that because it's the chronic emptiness that they talk about with BPD. I just, I just had this depression just come over me, and I just was really sitting in my reality like I really am alone and I have nobody. Nobody, nothing. And it wasn't even like to do with them. It was just like that reality was already there with them. They're who they are. It was just, when it just sits in, and it's just like you just don't have a choice but to sit in that, like you don't have anybody. You don't have any friends. You don't have any loved ones. You don't have any family, any real family that's actually healthy, stable, loving, supportive people the way a family is supposed to be, whether that be cousins, aunts, uncles. You don't have that. You're just here alone. And this was recent. If it wasn't this year, it was like late last year. And I remember, like, I think I got his keys. I got somebody's keys, and I remember like I don't know if I went to the corner store to get a Black and Mild, or if I already had one in my purse, and I was just smoking on his porch because that's the only thing that helps me when I'm depressed and stuff. And I remember he came out and he saw me, and he didn't even care. I mean, you like literally, I literally looked like something was wrong with me. Like it wasn't a situation to where, oh, she's just smoking. No, like you could tell like I was going through something. And my father walked out of his front door. I'm literally sitting right there, and he just walked by me like I could have been contemplating suicide that night, and y'all didn't even care. And it's just like one of those experiences where like the Lord, he allows it to happen. I could feel him because it's like he wants to confirm to you they don't care about you. You know, like he keeps allowing certain people to repeat those kind of treatment to you so you can release them. They don't care. You know, that's when it really just set in for me. Like, wow, he really does not care about me at all. I was shocked by it because like not even just because I'm shocked by him or like how they are. It was just more so like there should still be a level of humanity. You know, like this is your daughter. It's just normal if you see somebody like that, like, hey, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, nothing. He did it like a few times. Like he came in and out like 3 times, so he saw me just sitting there. Like you didn't even question me. Why am I smoking? Like I'm a Christian. He knows I have a ministry church. Like they know this. He didn't say anything. He didn't care. And it was not helping that night. I remember that night too. I was just smoking and it didn't help anything. Like I was just trying to feel like something and I didn't feel anything. You know what it feels like a lot for me sometimes? It feels like being in this, you know how they say there's different spiritual realms or just dimensions where there's just nothing. It's not hell, it's not heaven, it's just like an in between, you know, of just like a wasteland, like outer darkness. That's what I felt that night. I didn't feel anything. I said, I feel like I'm just kind of stuck somewhere where it's like no one is here to come and get me. And every time I would be with my mom, I know that I went through those things, that I was there for a season because the Lord is using that. I'm going to need that experience to help the people that I'm appointed to. But just experiencing the abusive stuff I've experienced with her, I would just think to myself, I have to go back home with this woman. Like, I have to live with this entity. This person who's supposed to be a mother, who's supposed to be a parent, who's supposed to be nurturing, and who should care that you're going through. When she would see me crying or depressed recording videos, it's like she was happy about it. You know, she was happy to see me fail. You know, I guess like they were so used to me they saw that I was genuinely trying to be a real Christian because none of them are. It's like when they saw you deteriorate or you know that you weren't perfect, she would make jokes about it. She would throw it in my face. It's like she got happier. She got more esteem when I was down. And they say that, you know, with narcissists and stuff, like they feed off of your energy. So, no, no support at all. Being physically attacked, being jumped by my mom, my little sister, my older sister, like this stuff actually happened. And I would just ask myself, like, yeah, I would talk to the Lord about it, but you know, I always have a judge. I have a very justice based mindset, and I would just ask myself, if people knew what was going on in my household, I wonder what they would say. Like, you need somebody to intervene. Like, this is crazy. This is abusive. And it's just kind of like, I hope that people who know them do watch my videos because I don't think they know who they really are. I really don't. It amazes me how you can be that disgusting of a parent, that abusive of a sibling, but you still have friends. And like, I'm like, if they saw my videos, I wonder what they would think about y'all because this is what you did. This is who you really are. I don't believe in all that what happens in the house stays in the house. No, you're full of crap, you're evil, you're wicked, you're disgusting, you're abusive, and it needs to be exposed. That's what the word says. Everything done in the dark will come to light, everything hidden will be made manifest. Expose the unfruitful works of darkness. That's what he says to do. They raised me, you know, that way, but I don't believe that. That's just not who I am at heart. I don't hide stuff. I don't believe in that kind of crap. So I do think about that sometimes because I know I have some relatives that watch my channel. I know for a fact my aunt used to, my grandma did, because she used to watch him for ministry purpose, ironically. And she would, call me sometimes and like, oh, I saw your video today when you were talking about blah, blah, blah. And, she was still learning how to use YouTube gadgets. So I know my grandma, when it came to YouTube, all she knew was to look at me. So I know that some of them watch the videos. My sister knows I have a channel. I don't know if she watches it. So I don't know what they see and what they don't see. My dad knows I have a channel because when he felt like being nice, he would ask me, well, how's your ministry going? How's your YouTube channel going? And they always got a kick out of how y'all sent me money, like I was using y'all or something. So that they never even took it serious. Like they would see the donations and like I would be able to get stuff or groceries. And so I guess that's when it set in for them that it was a real thing. Like, yes, I have a real actual ministry where people actually care about me and you don't. Yes. So he knows I have one. He doesn't watch it. He doesn't do social media and stuff like that. So I don't know who watches this stuff, but I just have a strong part of me. I feel like it is definitely fragments that just want justice. But I think it's also something the Lord put in me that comes with just the role of a prophet. Like you want justice, period. That's why I'm so passionate about stuff like that. And I hate when people do wicked stuff. Whereas a normal Christian may not care that much about being avenged or being, vindicated. I care about that and I want that for everybody, not just for myself. So I release this information because I want them to be held accountable. Somebody has to see it. Like, yeah, the Lord's going to do it on his own timing and on his terms, but I want them to be exposed because what you did is disgusting. I'm like, how do people like this still have friends? Like, why would you still talk to them learning something like that? Like, they need to be caught on that. How is it that you're a man that has 8, 7, 8 brothers and one sister, and none of them make you accountable for the ungodly creature that you are? I think even when he went to prison for like, the pedophilia, the molestation thing, they all just defended him. From what I heard, I don't know if that's true for all of them. I'm like, I get supporting your brother, but no, that couldn't be me. It wouldn't be me as a sibling. I can say that much. They were raised in a strange. I don't know. I don't understand that family. I don't get those people at all. It's just weird. And interestingly, the Lord has never really exposed much of my dad to me the way he has my mom. He's never shown me why my dad is the way he is. Maybe I should ask him. Not that it would matter. And knowing the Lord, he probably won't show it because it probably doesn't matter. He was never really a dad. And to be honest, I have memories with him, so I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. So I guess there's still some sense of wanting or wanted, a relationship or trying to rebuild one, but no, I could feel like there's just nothing there. Like, not only does he not care, he doesn't take it serious. Like, he has no interest in even the way he would talk about us as kids. Like, I just remember, like, having my dad is a true textbook narcissist. Like, he has no emotional attachment to anything. I don't even know why he got married, to be honest. I would not be surprised if the Lord revealed to me that he married my mom because she was narcissist bait or something. Because I've had a conversation with him, like I would just try to like build some type of attachment between us, like so I would just bring up conversations or topics about who looks like him the most or different features of his daughters who favors him, and the way he would talk about us, it was just like he said something weird one night. He was just like, I think we were talking about my estranged sister who he never raised because the situation, how she came about, was just like, it was messy. But he's her dad. And I was saying how she had a lot of his characteristics and his personality. And he was like, well, yeah, like if it's my seed, they're going to look and be like me. It wasn't like a dad type of thing. Like, oh, yeah, I have an intimate, perspective towards my kids, or I have beautiful daughters. It was just like, yeah, I ejaculated, it's my DNA, so of course y'all are going to look. That's how he said it. So I don't even think I don't know. Like I said, narcissists don't have the capability of really feeling anything. I would be very interested in like receiving a revelation from the Lord about like what the heck was his upbringing like? Why is he like this? Can you be born a narcissist? Like, I don't know much about them. Like, I know about them, but it's just like the psychological, you know, it's very interesting with people like that. Like, he's just so, no, he was never really like a dad. Like, and I would just even question, or just think to myself sometimes, like, you have four kids that we know of, four beautiful girls. My older sister, Whitley, me, Sierra, and then Kennedy. Beautiful girls. My dad has made some beautiful girls, truthfully. And I would just think to myself, considering who you are as a man, you should be grateful that you have a beautiful daughter. I mean, not to be haughty, but extremely gorgeous, who fears the Lord and she's in ministry. Like she's actually helping people. You have something to be proud of that none of your siblings have. No disrespect to them, but I mean, you would think that somebody would want to acknowledge that, and that's something to be proud of. Like, wow, like look at my baby girl. Like years ago she was in this place and she was cutting and dark, and now she's head covering and completely different, and she's loving and sweet and nice and caring. She's beautiful and just a minister, and he just doesn't care at all. Like there's nothing. So I don't even I'm not a narcissist, so I don't know how they think. I don't know if I could ever be in a position to where I could give birth to another human being that's a part of me and there not be any attachment to this child. I don't know how that works. I couldn't see myself having children and just stop loving them one day, or just even getting to a point of envy and jealousy. That's a sick, demented mind. I don't even know how you get from point A to Z like that. Like, that's just, I don't get that at all. So, but, yeah, I prayed for like new parents. So, and I just told the Lord, like, it's kind of funny because I'm so used to a word of marriage or like a husband list. I didn't emphasize too much on what I wanted the dad to be like, but for some reason I was very specific with the Lord about what I wanted the mom to be like. I was like, Lord, it'd be cool if she could look like me, or if she was a prophetess as well. Like, aged, of course. I want them to be around 50, 60, and just really cool, nice home, somebody that could really just have a genuine daughterly or motherly love and affection for me. So, as far as my dad, I still have a love in my heart for my dad, but I feel like it's dangerous when you're not accepting what the Lord is blatantly showing you. I've had dreams where He's shown both of my parents. They were just kind of they look spaced out in the head, just lost and just railing at me and just showing me like they are narcissists. Like that's not your parents. Your parents are gone. So I feel like even the love I have for him is kind of vain because it's like that's never going to be used. You may as well just remove. I mean, you have been physically removed, but I feel like in a weird way, I'm still attached to these people. That's weird. That doesn't make any sense. And that makes me wonder if it just goes back to what I'm learning about in this workbook, like your attachment style and the infancy, the infantilization, or just being used to that prison or that atmosphere where you were sheltered. You've left physically, but spiritually, I still feel like I don't feel like I've left my family. I mean, spiritually, I even felt like since being here or since being gone, because I left August 15th, so I've been gone for like 2 months. But I feel like I've kind of felt. Do they call it like Stockholm syndrome? I don't know if I'm using that incorrectly, but I've had thoughts of just wanting to go back home because that's the only womb that I know. That's really sick because y'all witnessed the abusive, like, toxic environment that was, and just how it negatively affected me all the time. But I've had spells like that just being gone. Like I feel so out of place. I don't even know how to start my life or just really do anything different. So I've had thoughts of just like I want to go back home. I miss my nephews. It's like go back home to what? More abuse, more jealous relatives who don't respect you and don't even care about you as a human being and treat you like crap. Yeah, your nephews would be the only positive thing. And that's until your sister gets bitter enough and wants to use that against you and then takes them or something. So it's like there's nothing to go back to. I think that's what they call that, right? If it's not Stockholm syndrome, it's something similar where you don't know anything else, so you just kind of want to return back to what's familiar, knowing I want better and deserve better, but I don't know better. So it's like I don't know, but yeah. So like yeah, I'm here with a trustworthy sister who's genuine and who's a friend to me, but I feel attached still. That does kind of sound like an infancy or a baby type of attachment to people because I'm like you're not even there anymore. Most people would like move on and just not even look back. And to be honest, that was my plan. I thought I was gonna leave, go to Dallas, start trucking school, and I wasn't gonna look back because I was gonna have a job. And then like the Lord, that just kind of got screwed up, and He just told me to stop, and He was very persistent with it. The Holy Spirit gave me no peace about it. Like He wouldn't even let me go forward with trying to do it, and I didn't have the documents like I shared with y'all, so I couldn't have started anyway. So I feel like I'm just kind of back at square one. Like, well, not necessarily like He got you out, but it's just annoying. That was my plan. It wasn't God's plan. My plan was I'm gonna get a job, making a lot of money. It's something easy to do. I'm gonna finally start my life and finally be free, get away from these narcissistic, abusive people, and yeah, my life is just. It definitely is transition, and I say that because the relationships and friendships I did have with people who genuinely loved me, like they're in the world. I did a vlog about that, talking about my friend. I'll link that in the description box, but y'all already saw it. Latoya, she was my best friend in high school, and we are like twins in the soul. Like, if anybody gets me, it's her. And I got back in communication with her last year in November, and I was so happy. I feel like a part of me just came alive. That I hadn't felt or experienced in a very long time. And I wanted it to be God so bad. I wanted it to be, like He brought her back. Maybe you can get her saved, type of thing. And it wasn't at all. And I had to release her. The only person in my life I really felt like was a friend to me and that got me, that I had a real bond and connection with. Like me and this girl, to say that I was saved, and this was just last year, and she's not. I mean, the instant we got together, it was like we never skipped a beat. She understood me. We would always just be going through the same stuff. Like she just got me, and I just felt like I was at home with her. Like, and I hate to have that perspective. Like I know I had to release her in obedience. I mean, He showed me she's unclean. Um, She's perverse. He gave me a dream when I was praying about it, whether it was him or not. I wanted it to be him, but he revealed that it wasn't him, and it hurt me a lot. And I know that the Lord, whenever He takes something or somebody away from you, He always gives you better, and I do believe that. But you do kind of get in a place where you just feel like He's just taken everything from me, everything I like, everything I love, like, and leave me with what I do need his perspective of what he's doing in my life, because the one I have, it makes me resent him. Like, I try to come up with a plan for myself to better myself, to leave home like you told me to do, and get a job where I don't have to be dependent on others. This is what I was trying to avoid. I'm not trying to be in somebody else's house. I'm not trying to have somebody else baby me. I don't want that. I want to take care of myself. Just to have him stop that, and I'm back. I just, I don't know. So, she's gone. But she made it clear to me she wanted nothing to do with Christ, and that disgusted me. So there's nothing there anymore. Had the potential to be if I had been disobedient and kept her around, which that's basically what the dream was. She showed me if I had kept her around, I would have been defiled. The friendship would have been there. You would have had that part, but you would have just been. I was just doing crazy stuff in the dream, like. Because she didn't want anything to do with him. She made that clear to me. She did not want anything to do with religion. She just loved me. So, I don't know. I have wonderful promises, and the Lord's revealed plans for my life through all these dreams He's given me, and it's amazing stuff. And I'm like, but I don't even know how far away that is. And that's something I was talking to Him about a few hours ago. Like, you're showing me this stuff. I want that stuff now. Like, I don't like my life right now. It's hard not to complain like the Israelites did in the wilderness, but it's like this has been my life. My life has been this, garbage dump, abused by everybody that you encounter who just treats you like crap, except Melanie. So, but I mean, just not having anything, nobody, being in shambles, being in bondage, and trying to live for the Lord, and using YouTube as an outlet. I see some people in the world and I envy them because they just look so free. And I was telling the Lord that today, which I guess, yeah, I mean, that proves that I need His perspective, because I don't have the mind of Christ right now. I'm looking at worldly people like y'all are more free than I am, or we are. And, coming to Christ and living in the Spirit, that's supposed to be freedom from everything. And I don't feel that. I want to go have fun. I want to have girlfriends to go, out with. It doesn't have to be something impure, you know. It's not like I say, it's not that I want just sin, it's not that. It's just, they just look so, they don't have a care in the world. And it makes sense because they're lawless. Of course, they don't have a care. They don't have any real stipulations to live by except their own conscience and what they want to do. But they're free to express themselves how they want to. They can wear what they want to. They have friends, and oddly, I've seen worldly people, they have family relationships. They have, relationships, close bonds with their sisters, something I've never had. I see that stuff, and I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense to me. We're supposed to be living better than that, and I don't feel even anything remotely close to that. They look happy and free. So, Yeah, that's why I say, like, I just always see myself as like a gypsy. If I had the Lord bless me with those girlfriends or friends who were just like me, and we could just drive off into the night and do whatever the heck we want to do, that's my freedom. I don't even have that. It's just like, I know and I trust that this is all orchestrated by Him and it's serving a purpose, and I'm seeing things the wrong way, but I'm not experiencing it that way. And it's getting very old to keep seeing it that way. I want something to change. And that's just been my cry out to Him lately. It's just, you're gonna have to change my life. Like, at least the stuff you're showing me, I believe it. Just do it now. Like, this is stupid. Like, how much training do you have to give somebody for this purpose and just leave them rotting still? Like, I don't even want bad things. I've prayed for a husband, kids, real friendships, fun. Like, I mean, I don't mind doing the ministry part. I don't mind helping people. I don't mind doing dangerous or dirty stuff. That's fine with me. It's just, I want a life, you know. The scripture says that we're supposed to be free and happy and joyous, and, you know, the Lord wants us to live an abundant life. And I'm just like, I don't, where is that? Honestly, where is the fun? Like, I see how people get tired and just end up just like, deviating away from the faith because it's weird. Because I'm like, I know that this isn't Jesus. I've had so many encounters with Him. He does not feel like this. There has to be some other side of the spectrum in Christianity we haven't even walked into yet. There has to be somewhere where this freedom does exist, this happiness does exist. We just haven't tapped into it yet. Like, I believe that and I know that, but I'm just getting very tired. It's like, yeah, their eternity is going to be a lengthy one of hell and eternal darkness, but they're living their best life right now. Like, and I'm sure some Christians probably have shared the same thoughts that I've had, and I've just kind of thought, like, well, no. I fear. I'm already a normally naturally paranoid person. I don't think that far. Like, oh, just go do it anyway and just worry about the consequence later. Like, no, you can die tomorrow. That's stupid. Like, don't do that. But yeah, just looking at people, it's just kind of like, no, they don't have the Lord. No, they don't have understanding. They don't have discernment. We are their light, but they just look free. They have a freedom that's just like, they have a mother, they have a father, they have children, they have the happiness that they know. It just kind of makes you wonder, like, when you're lost, do you know that you're lost? I don't think everybody does. Until you've been exposed to something better, I don't think. So they have their prism of whatever their happiness is, but yours is just like lacking all of the basic qualities in life that I feel like God wants everybody to have: companionship, family, love, nurture, support. So I've just had stupid thoughts like knowing, especially being a minister, like I've taught on so many things, but I guess the human part of me still comes up like I want kids so bad. Well, just go find somebody to sleep with. Just go ahead and date. I mean, I even had my sister tell me that one day. She was like, or I was playing with the babies and I was just telling her how many kids I wanted, and she was like, well, you better start now. She was like, you don't ever get out the house, you don't meet anybody. She's not safe, so she doesn't understand, I have to be in the Lord's will when it comes to those specifics, but it's just so interesting how something so simple like that, if you wanted it, you could just go do that. That's true. I'm a very attractive woman. That's true that if I actually just went out, I would have probably met multiple guys. I could do that if I wanted to, but I'm trying to do things the Lord's way. And it's just so interesting to see how just one transgressing choice could just bring it that quick, just like that. Oh, you want kids? Go do what it takes to make kids, and you'll have one. In addition to the generational curses you're going to harp on them because you fornicated and everything else that comes with that. The fact that you're going to have to be attached to this person for the rest of your life who probably isn't going to be a Christian is just stupid. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, just entertaining the thought, like, it's just right there. And I guess that's the way Satan wants us to look at stuff, right? It's just right there if you want it. Just step outside that fence, just cross that line, just go ahead and get it. You want that drink? You have money, go get it. You want a kid? Go get one. Go make one. And it's like, yeah, as a believer, of course you can know the people who have those kids, they didn't have them with people who actually love them. Most of them are single parents. They're probably lost in just fornicating, and yeah, they did what it took to make a kid. That's why they have them. So everything isn't green the way it looks. That doesn't change the way I feel, though. They may have not had those kids in a perfect situation, but they have them, and kids are a blessing. They can bless you in more ways than you think, although it would be probably harder to take care of them because of how you did it, but they have them. I just wonder, like, where I am on his prophetic, like, storybook. Because this doesn't surprise him. This isn't by chance, like, this is, especially reading about all of the people who were used by him, they felt the same things. And it's just like, I just wonder where I am on the, you know, he knows I'm getting tired. And I was even thinking today, I think, when you really get to the point where you're really, really tired, that's when something's about to change. Because I feel like I've always felt like this, but I've never just felt like I'm really at the end of, like, I'm done, like, I'm over this. In the past few years, I've made videos blogging to y'all, and I think that's because in those seasons, I was meant to be going through those things and experiencing what I was experiencing, and He gave me the measure of grace for it. But I feel like that grace is running out because it is about to change. And that's what I believe. So, in per the prophecies and stuff too that I don't share. So, I sure am waiting on it. I mean, there has to be some honor and reward for waiting and doing this. Like, I didn't. And that's true. It's like, you don't have to do this. You do have free will. You could have done what you wanted to do a long time ago, and I haven't done that. There has to be a reward for that. Even if you're not the most perfect Christian, He sees you. He definitely sees that you fear Him enough to even wait on Him and to trust Him, that despite everybody doing the things that the way they want to do it, especially Christians, because every Christian doesn't wait on Him. They do what they want to do. They marry who they want to marry. It's tempting, but the Lord knows those who fear Him, especially if Scripture says that He's always, searching throughout the earth and He's looking for people like that. He knows who really loves Him and who's been waiting faithfully, and He's going to reward you tremendously for that. So, yeah, that is a reality, even though it doesn't always feel like worth waiting for. So, but I feel like I've just been breeded differently. Um, I know my messages don't get a lot of acceptance from Christians who watch me because I don't think a lot of y'all understand the concept of waiting on Him and that He does have a will for every specific detail in your life down to who you marry. because you weren't raised by him that way. I was. I got saved when I was 15. I didn't have any parents at 15. He literally taught me everything I know. So I don't even know anything but him. Everything I know in the way I do things is what the Father has taught me, and that's how He's taught me how to do it. I didn't learn it from any church, no pastor, none of that. So I'm just breeded completely differently. I don't have any other guide but Him. I don't know where to go, what to do, how to do anything unless the Lord tells me first through a dream. So, I mean, yeah, every Christian's relationship is just different. Everybody got into the faith differently. That's my testimony. I don't know anybody or know anything else. I'm just dependent on Him to raise me as much as He does Himself, and for Him to send the people in my life that He wants to use to continue that process. I don't have any control over anything, as you can see. If I did, I would be probably truck driving and I don't know, doing a whole bunch of different stuff right now. I don't know what I would be doing. So, but if I didn't go through all this stuff, y'all wouldn't have any videos. So I guess there's a lot of positives. Uh, he's used it. He's used the season, wisely. Y'all have so much content on here, so much to learn from. It literally is just a treasure chest, this channel. So pray that I keep the faith because my heart is actually far from the Lord right now. That's actually one reason I took the videos down. I put them back up. They're up now. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not comfortable having messages and certain convictions and stuff up if I know that in my heart I probably don't even care about that stuff right now, or I'm like not even in a place where I'm like trying to keep anything like that. I feel like it's hypocritical. But I put them back up for y'all because I'm like, well, y'all still need that stuff, even though I'm kind of just whatever I am. Like, you know, I just feel like it's a misrepresentation. Anyway, but I'm just looking forward to this new season. Well, the season has already approached itself. I'm in transition. He brought me out of my home. He did tell me to leave. He gave me a dream and everything, and I did. So, I don't think this dry season lasts forever. Like, when I say I want a better life and I want to have fun and stuff, I mean with him too. I don't want him kicked out. Like, so even in this new season, I'm looking forward to a new level and dimension with him, because you don't stay at the same place that you were in your relationship with God, like, forever. Like, no. I had my season with him where he was with me through these past few years when I was recording in my room and ministering to everybody on here, and I feel like where I'm going is just going to be new dimensions, getting to know him in a different way, especially where he's taking me. Like, you're going to have to be very close to him. So I'm looking forward to that too. I'm just over this part. Like, this, I'm not trying to kick God out of my life. I literally don't know anything else. I can't even see myself doing that. He would never disappear to me. I don't think he would leave either, to be honest. I actually thought about it. Like, what would your life be like if you did leave the faith? He's, especially with the parables he's given us, leaving the 99 to go find that one lost sheep, the prodigal son, and he knows I have something very special with him. I don't even think he would leave me alone, to be honest. I think he'd probably go ahead, let me have my fun, get to experience literally that it's nothing in comparison to him, and probably welcome me back with no problem. But I'm not trying to test that. Because I believe that with that would come a lot of chastisement as well. And plus, I don't want to miss my divine appointments for the stuff that he has promised me. And that's what you would do. You would delay a lot of stuff, even especially if it's right around the corner. That's stupid. So, I feel like a G in the game, but I don't feel like one. It's like, you are. Truthfully, I mean, you are that. I'm sure a lot of the saints in scripture that were really persevering and going through stuff like they probably didn't feel like that at the time. But when we read about them, we're like, oh, Paul, wow, Joseph, like, wow, so much strength. Like, nah, we don't feel like that. Want to freaking give up and screw this. Like, I'ma put the deuces up and leave the videos up for y'all, and I hope y'all just continue to run the good race. That's how I be feeling some days, like, honestly. And then it's just like, that's stupid. Like, yeah, I'm just tired. Just tired of the same, being in the same place. That is true. They have all those Christian messages about outgrowing, dimensions, outgrowing people, outgrowing, you know, where God's planted you. But I feel like there's a spiritual dimension to that stuff too. Like, I've outgrown this phase, this season. Like, I'm just, because I'm tired of it. Um, I was not expecting to do all of this when I recorded this video. This literally was supposed to be a short video asking y'all if y'all like the mental um, health updates and books and stuff. And if so, I was going to continue reading with y'all and sharing it with y'all. Then it just turned into this confessional. Um, I believe the Lord is going to reward me with a lot of love. I mean, I look at what he did for Job, which that guy, he experienced a lot worse than anything I'm dealing with. Like, he lost everything. Like, that's trauma beyond trauma. But no, I just think about everything I've lacked, everything I've given up for him. I've given up family, which wasn't really family. I've given up friends. I've given up a lot of stuff. And it's just like, especially to be someone he's called to be a prophetess that's actually walking through the sacrificial lifestyle, walking through this just drawing and this leading that he's been doing, and knowing that I don't have anybody. You have to reward somebody like that. It would be unjust not to do so. Especially with all the stuff I've done on here. That's another thing I think about. Like, do you know how much stuff I've sown on this channel alone? I started from scratch again, and now I have 1.5 thousand subscribers, where I previously had 14,000, which I didn't get as many views as the subscriber count. Nobody does, but it's just the fact that over years, you just don't know who you've touched. You don't know who's watched you that's never subscribed. Maybe they just watched that one video and that was a seed that was planted. Like, I've sown a lot of stuff. So I feel like I've just put in a lot of work, and now I want to retire, and I just want to rest and enjoy my harvest when he releases it, because I deserve it. I really do. My head is itching so bad. I think I have like freaking psoriasis or something. Like, oh my God. I'm just so over hair. I'm so over this scalp. Like, I just don't know what to do about this scalp. Like, it's just irritated. And this is with oiling it and moisturizing it, like, with olive oil. Like, I'm just done. I've used like medicated grease, and my scalp is irritated. I'm irritated. I just don't even know. I want to go binge eat. but I'm supposed to be fasting. I need to lose weight. I was looking at my pictures, like my older photos. Y'all ever just keep older photos like, man, I look good. Like, but you don't even look like that no more. I was like, I was slim when I thought I was fat, and now I actually am fat. And it's just like, I'm gonna get bigger if I don't stop here. Then you're gonna be looking at the pictures you took in 2019, like, oh, I was small. Like, I'm like, yeah, girl, you need to get your sanctifying back. It's like, I can't believe I was that small like 6 years ago. You know that's sad when you're still identifying with pictures like when you were small, like you don't look like that right now. You can get back there, but you don't look like that anymore. So it's like I need to do what I need to do. I need to stop eating. It's just binge eating. Like it's just out of depression and just habit. Like it's not even like I'm a fat glutton or anything. It's just I don't have anything else to say. I went on that long tangent that's lasted for 2 hours to try to answer for why the insecurity, the lack of self love, that's something I don't mind sharing because I don't feel like anybody could use that against me because, to be honest, I don't feel anything about it. I was telling Melanie, because we were talking about it today, we were going over my workbook, and I honestly, because the guy, he gives examples of his clients that he's had that deal with BPD, and I was like, I don't love myself. I don't know how to love myself. The thought, I can't even entertain somebody loving me or being in love with me because I don't feel like there's anything to love. It's weird because it's like intellectually, I do see that I'm a lovable and I see good qualities about myself. I see how great of a person I am, but it's like a detachment with it. It's weird. Like, I don't feel anything. I don't feel any love. There's no self love. There's no, I don't believe anyone loves me. If they say they do, I don't. I honestly question, like, what is it that you love? I honestly ask that because I'm like, it's not even something like if somebody were to try to hurl at me, like, oh, you don't love yourself, like, it wouldn't hurt me. That's how numb I am towards it. Like, no, I don't. I don't even know what that is. Like, myself as a person, like, an entity, I just feel like it's just a shell of just confusion. I don't even, I don't know. I forgot why I started talking about that. That came up in the book, and I had to answer questions about it. But yeah, I don't even think I'm lovable. It's weird. It's like I want kids. I still want to be married. I'm still very passionate about marriage, and I think it's beautiful. And I'm a huge hopeful romantic, so that's never gonna change. But when I just think back sometimes, just sit back and think, I'm like, I don't even feel worthy. Like I don't even like. I don't know. I can't see somebody being in love with me. That sounds really crazy because I'm an amazing person, but it's like I said, it's a weird internal detachment. Like I don't, and it just makes me want to give up on just, the desire to be married. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm so screwed up. I'd probably only be comfortable being with somebody who's just as screwed up as me. Because I'd want to be with somebody who could understand me and who could get me. And of course, I have so much love to give. I've always loved broken men. I always have. I don't know why. That could have been subconscious as well. I guess it makes sense that you would be drawn to people who kind of mirror or reflect, what you are internally. So, but I've just always been attracted to broken people because I just wanted to love them and heal them. It's almost like, the brokenness that's in you, there's this like, silent signal that only you and other broken people can feel or resonate with. And I can just see guys like even on Instagram, like I follow a few people on Instagram and I can just like see in their lives like how broken they are. Not their personal lives, I mean their actual life stories. Yeah, like they're very attractive guys and I can just see right through it. Like they're just normal people just like anybody else. Like years ago I probably would have like made them a god in my mind. Like, oh my god, he's so fine, but I don't see any of that stuff. I'm like, oh, he's broken. I want to give that guy a hug. Or I can just start discerning stuff about them. Like they don't have anybody in their life that cares about them. I can tell. So I just have like a very negative paradigm, and it's weird because it's like I know that, but I can't live beyond that. I can't see myself being with a stable guy because I'm not a stable person. I would feel so unequally yoked with somebody like that. Our anointings may match, maybe our purposes, but I can't see myself with somebody that's just like perfect, well around, Christian guy, no problems. Even if he was assigned to help me, I don't know. I relate more with people who are messed up too, because I like that. I guess that's just my dysfunctionality. Not staying that way, of course. Like just being interested in healing with them, being delivered with, helping each other. But yeah, the situation that I'm in, God would have to send you somebody. It's just because there's just a lot of stuff going on with me. I believe that's the case for everybody, to be honest. Like, only the Lord knows you better than you know yourself. I don't trust just getting with somebody randomly. And even if I genuinely felt in love with them, it's just, I don't, it's too much. It's too many factors that go into a permanent marriage union. There's a lot of stuff about your character, your personality, your calling. This person would have to come from him because they're going to cater to each part of that and you don't have to worry about anything else. So I can't even trust just physical attraction. Like I said earlier, yeah, if I went out, I could probably just get anybody, but that's not, I don't know you. I don't know where your heart is. I don't know how you feel about the Father. You got people, I've met people who are been watching my channel for years and I met them, they weren't real Christians at all. You just never know where somebody's heart is really at. They may not be as passionate about him like you are. That's stuff I have to think about moving forward because if I do want to go through with my deliverance, I do want to fight this all the way until the end of the age, and you're not going to do it with me. What the hell did I marry you for? So you can just be dead weight? So I just factor everything in. Like, I see the bigger picture. I don't think a lot of Christians think like that. They just want a boyfriend now, a girlfriend now, or they just, I don't know. I don't know what y'all think. I can't speak for y'all. This is how I think. Um, Maybe it is just simple for y'all where you just meet someone and you just grow together and just trust the Lord. That's beautiful too. But I just factor a lot of stuff in, like especially knowing that marriage is permanent and there's no divorce or remarriage. I just think about everything. I'm fearful of trying to date anybody because I don't trust myself. I can't make permanent serious decisions like that. I have to trust him to make that for me. I don't know who's great for me, especially being fragmented. I have so many different kinds of guys I would like to marry. It's insane. Like, my type. It's just, I don't even know what to choose. Like, yeah. hmm And then learning what the heck I deal with. If I was to take the spiritual part away from it, okay, so you're just DID, BPD, you have some disorders and some stuff. I guess, yeah, you could meet somebody in that community with no problem. But no, the stuff that I'm just dealing with, it would have to be somebody specifically appointed to me that could be my companion in those things. I personally don't see myself with somebody who is better than me. Like, I would want somebody to meet me where I'm at. And I don't have an issue with that. Y'all saw what the last person was when he finally made an ass of himself all over YouTube. Like, he wasn't any, barely was saved. And I tarried with that word for 3 years. I'm not a judgmental person by any means. And I wasn't even attracted to him. I was doing that out of obedience. And I did develop a genuine love for that person because I love broken people. So I don't mind broken people. I don't mind being with someone broken as long as they want to be healed, as long as they want the help. They want what Jesus has to offer them, and I try to stay like that. I don't care. Oh, my head is itching. I just want to cut all my hair off again. Like, oh my gosh. She literally greased my freaking head for me tonight. Like, we did freaking olive oil. Like, real olive oil. And then on top of that, we did the medicated. What the heck is going on? Good. And I even washed it with medicated shampoo last night. Like, dude, I'm about to cut all my hair off. I can't do this. That's why I cut it earlier this year. Like, I don't have time for this crap. Like, I don't want to deal with hair. I really don't. Too much confusion. Just like, ugh. I'm over it. Everything is itching. I need to go see a freaking dermatologist. Something's wrong with my scalp. We're gonna go get massages this week. I forgot I had bought that little Groupon discount for my birthday, and we're gonna use it this week. I'm gonna get a 60-minute massage. I just wish, do they have services where you can get like a head massage? Do people do that? I just need a head massage. Like, I'm gonna pay somebody at a salon. I just want you to give me a scalp treatment, and I want a head massage. Like, you need relaxation for your head too, not just your body. Why y'all just been sitting here? Y'all been here for 2 hours and didn't say nothing to me. That's rude and disrespectful. 5 people, 2 hours, and y'all haven't said anything. Y'all just want to watch me cry, don't you? You be honest. You watch me to watch me cry. I'm the black Christian Trisha Paytas of YouTube. It's true. Emotional meltdown every once in a while. You can always depend on it. I'm just gonna watch this live to watch Sister Brandy complain and cry about her life. That's it. I'm done talking. I don't have anything else to talk about for now. When I start rambling like this, I honestly be thinking, I think the Lord had me say all this stuff on purpose because He has somebody specific watching that probably, I don't know. Because I just be talking. Like, I didn't even intend to do all of this. It just came out. But y'all keep me in prayer. I just want my mind renewed. I just want the Lord, pray that the Lord gives me His perspective with my life. And I feel like I'm just so far from His mind and His ways. It's insane. Like, I don't even see Him in a positive light right now. I'm actually mad at Him. And, He says, like, I know the thoughts and plans I have for you, and they're plans to prosper you. So it's every part in that plan, even the sucky parts, is supposed to be looked at in rejoicing, and I'm not there. It's like, just pray for Him to show me the real lens, like what I'm not seeing, what I'm missing, so I can stop murmuring against Him and just complaining throughout this transition. Or maybe it's something that is coming around the corner. I can't see it, or I don't know, I'm just blinded. And that I just feel his love and his presence again, because I've just been entertaining thoughts about just leaving the faith because I don't feel free. I want to go out and live my life and have fun and not have a care in the world. Honestly, when your walk with God has gone from relationship to restriction, there is a problem. And then you start resenting him and then you don't want anything to do with him. So I'm glad that I'm at least in a place to where I know I'm not seeing something correctly. I'm not. I am blinded. When I'm married and pregnant, and we can laugh about these vlogs in the future, when I'm doing vlogs with the babies, and y'all can see the little Brandies. And then this will all be in the past, because then I'll be happy, and I'll be working. I may have a business, and maybe God knows where. And hopefully I'll have a healthier freaking scalp, because my scalp itches so bad right now. Oh my God. I feel like I gotta weave it. I don't even wear a weave. What is this? I'm so over it. I'm over it. Oh God, this is terrible. I'm about to cut my hair. I'm cutting my hair. I can't do this. Oof. Jesus, man, I need to get a scalp treatment or something. I'm done. Y'all let me know what y'all want to do about the mental health stuff. I still have to read that book for Sister Amber. Y'all see it glistening? Yeah, it's packed with oil. It's oil all up in there. I don't know why it's itching like that. Like it's all shiny. Y'all can see it glistening. Ooh, Jesus. I feel like I got like ants in my head, man. Like what the heck? Jesus. Terrible. Look at this bonnet. I look ratchet. How you have a bonnet on under your hair covering? Like, I don't even care. That's it. I'll talk to y'all later.